He said the child wasn't his. Now he wants to take him away. I need to tell you something. What is it? He answered. I am pregnant. The smile on his face disappeared immediately. For a few seconds, he said nothing. Then he looked away. Are you sure? The question hurt, but she answered calmly, yes. Another silence followed. Then came the word she never expected to hear. I don't know, it's mine. Her heart dropped. She stared at him, hoping he would take it back. Instead, he stood up. I can't do this. What do you mean you can't do this? I'm not ready to be a father yet. You should have thought about that before. He shook his head. This is your problem. Those words changed her life forever. The man who promised her love suddenly became a stranger. The man who talked about building a future together now wanted nothing to do with her or the child she was carrying. For weeks she called, for weeks he ignored. When he finally answered, his voice was cold over the phone. Stop calling me. The baby needs you. I don't know whose baby it is. After that, he disappeared. She cried more than she had ever cried in her life. Not because she was afraid of becoming a mother, but because she could not understand how someone could walk away so easily. People around her had their own opinion. She should move on. She should forget him. She should have known better. Everyone had an advice to give her. Very few people offered help. Months passed. She attended hospital's appointments alone. She bought the baby's clothes alone. She prepared for motherhood alone. Every night she placed her hand on her stomach and spoke these little words. I don't know how I am going to do this, but I can promise one thing. I will never give up on you. The day her child was born, one of the happiest and hardest days of her life. As she held the baby for the first time, tears ran down her face. Not because she was sad, because she realized she was now responsible for another human being. There was no father standing beside her, no one asking if she was okay, just a mother and a child. Years passed. Life was not easy. Some nights she slept only few hours. Some days she worried about money. Some days she felt exhausted. Some days she felt overwhelmed. But every challenge made her stronger. When her child needed school supplies, she found a way. When her child was sick, she stayed awake all night. When the child needed encouragement, she was there. She became mother and father at the same time. Meanwhile, the man who walked away lived his life as though nothing had happened. Years went without single phone calls. Not one birthday message, not one school visit, not one attempt to help, nothing at all. Then one day everything changed. A message appeared on her phone. Can we talk? She looked at the screen and immediately recognized the number. After all these years, he was back. She ignored the message. Another one came. Please answer. Then another one. I want to see my child. Her hands started shaking. Where was this concern when she was carrying the pregnancy alone? Where was this concern when bills needed to be paid? Where was this concern when this child asked for questions, struggling to answer? Now suddenly he wants to be involved. Then eventually meet. They eventually met. The first thing he said was, I made a mistake. She looked at him quietly. A mistake? Was that what he called a mistake? Years of absence, years of silence, years of responsibility placed on one person. a mistake. I want a relationship with my child, he continued. She took a deep breath. You had years to build one. I know. I begged you to stay. I know. You said the child wasn't yours. He lowered his head. I know. For the first time, he had no excuses, only regret. For a few weeks later, he met the child. He expected excitement instead. He found distance. The child was polite, respectful, kind, but very careful. During one visit, he asked a question. Do you know who I am? The child nodded. Yes. What am I to you? The answer came without hesitation. You are the man who left. The room became silent. The words hit him harder than any insult could ever. Because they were true, children remember absence. Children notice who stays. Children know who shows up. The reality he had been avoiding for years was finally standing in front of him. A moment of regret could not bring back the birthdays he missed. No apology could replace the years he chose not to be there. No tears could recover the memories that never happened. One evening, he sat alone and admitted something he had never said before. I thought I was escaping responsibility. I never realized I was walking away from one of the greatest blessings of my life. Meanwhile, the woman he abandoned continued moving forward. She was no longer broken. She had become stronger through every challenge. She had built a life for herself and her child. She had returned pain into purpose. And that is the lesson of every single mother listening today. The person who walked away does not determine your worth. The person who abandoned you does not decide your future. You may cry, you may struggle, you may feel overwhelmed, but your story ends because some believe that your story will not end because someone refused to take responsibility. Keep building, keep growing, keep loving your child unconditionally because one day the same people who doubted you may look at your life and realize what they lost. And when that day comes, your greatest victory will come by their regret. Your greatest victory will be the child who grew up knowing what unconditional love looks like because you never gave up on him.